What does a recession mean for the real estate market? Hi, I'm Troy Schlicker with Engel Invokers here in Austin, Texas, and we're going to get down to what a recession could mean for the real estate market here and nationally. But first, I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell to be updated when new videos hit. First off, it's important to understand that deals are still happening and closing, but it's understandable to put things on hold while there's uncertainty. If you have questions or concerns, please reach out and I'd be happy to discuss your specific circumstances or contact your trusted real estate advisor. With the uncertainty we are going through and the very realistic possibility of heading into a recession, it's important to understand what that could mean for the real estate market. While the uncertainty will inevitably put some people's decisions to buy or sell on hold, and many people have PTSD from the last recession, it's important to understand that this recession is not like the last one, and there are some very important indicators that give reason to believe this real estate market is nothing like 2008. First, mortgage standards are nothing like they were back then. During the housing bubble, it was difficult not to get a mortgage. Today, the standards are much stricter. The Mortgage Bankers Association released a Mortgage Credit Availability Index, which is the summary measurement which indicates the availability of mortgage credit at a certain point in time. The higher the index, the easier it is to get a mortgage. As the graph shows, during the housing bubble, the index skyrocketed. Currently, it's about twice as difficult to get a mortgage as it was prior to the housing bubble, and about 4 times as hard as it was during the bubble peak. Secondly, prices have not been soaring out of control. While home prices have appreciated significantly in some markets, the price appreciation over the last 6 years has been about half what it was in the 6 years nationally leading up to the housing bubble. Yes, it's true that appreciation over this past 6 years has been higher than historical appreciation of 3.6% annually, and it's certainly not at the accelerated levels it was in the early 2000s. Third, we don't have a surplus of homes, we have a shortage. The month's supply of inventory needed to sustain a balanced real estate market is approximately 6 months. Anything more is an overabundance and could cause price stagnation or depreciation. Anything less will generally lead to price appreciation. In 2007, we had over 8 months supply nationally, while today's inventories are around 3 months nationally, and this past month we were down to 1 month here locally in Austin. A market slowdown might bring us to a more balanced market well before it would cause price stagnation or depreciation. Fourth, houses became too expensive to buy. The affordability formula has 3 components: the price of a home, the wages earned by the purchaser, and the mortgage rate available at the time. In 2006, prices were high, wages were low, and mortgage rates were over 6%. Today, prices are still high, however, wages have increased as low unemployment has forced companies to increase compensation to retain and hire employees, and the mortgage rate is around or under 4%. That means the average family pays less of their monthly income towards their mortgage payment than they did back then. In 2006, people had to spend almost 25% of a median income to afford a median home price. Today that number is down to 15%. Fifth, people are equity rich, not tapped out. In the lead up to the housing bubble, homeowners were using their homes as personal ATMs. Many immediately withdrew their equity once it was built up, and in some states they were allowed to borrow 100% or even more of their home value. Here in Texas, due to state laws, homeowners can only withdraw up to 80%, so they had more equity in their homes even when the value dropped. This is one of the factors that helped Texas real estate market weather the housing bubble better than other parts of the country. Since the bubble, prices have risen nicely over the last few years, leading to over 50% of the homes in the country having greater than 50% equity. Due to tighter mortgage restrictions and lessons learned from the bubble, homeowners are not tapped out like they were last time. Here's a comparison of the equity withdrawn over the last 3 years compared to 2005, 6, and 7. Homeowners have cashed out over $500 billion less than before. During the crash, home values began to fall and many homeowners found themselves with negative equity, and some decided just to walk away from their homes rather than continue to make payments. This led to a rash of distressed property listings, which sold at huge discounts, thus lowering the value of other homes in the area. That is unlikely to happen today. The critical thing to remember is that a recession does not equal a housing crisis. 2008 and the Great Recession was a unique situation, and the housing market was a catalyst for the factors that played into the recession and the slow turnaround in the market. While we are definitely dealing with a unique situation now as well, recessions themselves are not unique, and we can look at history to guide us towards possible outcomes a recession might have on the housing market. If we take a look at the past 5 recessions in the U.S. history, we can see that in the 4 prior to 2008, home prices only dropped once, and then by only 2%. In the other 3 recessions, home prices actually rose. It's important to know that these are national numbers, and your local market can behave a bit differently. Here in Austin, 2008 didn't hit as hard as the rest of the country at large, and in 2001 we were actually hit a little bit harder. Bottom line concerns about a recession are real, but housing isn't the current driver. Hopefully some of this information helped to alleviate fears that were in store for the same mistakes that happened in 2008. If you have questions about your situation, please reach out and we can discuss your needs or contact your local trusted real estate advisor. I hope you enjoyed the video and found some of the information useful. I'd love it if you subscribe to the channel so you can find out when new videos hit.